When it comes to family hatchbacks, few cars tick quite as many boxes as this, the Audi A3 Sportback. Now, the Sportback is the 5-door version of Audi's premium hatch, and it takes on the likes of the BMW 1 Series, Infiniti Q30 and Mercedes A-Class. And it's been one of our favourite family hatches ever since it was crowned What Car's Car of the Year back in 2013. Since then, both 3 and 5-door versions have been regularly amongst our most recommended, thanks to its punchy and economical engines, excellent build quality and ease of use, not to mention running costs that are cheaper than most of the competition. But there's more to the A3 though. There is literally a version for everyone, whether you like the wind in your hair feeling from a convertible, the adrenaline rush you get from the supercar slaying RS3 version, the cheap running costs from one of the diesels, or even the green credentials from the e-tron hybrid. You really are spoiled for choice. One of the benefits of being part of the Volkswagen family is that there's no shortage when it comes to engines. There's a mix of petrol, diesel and even a hybrid. Our pick of the range though is the 148 brake horsepower 1.4 litre turbocharged petrol. Now that features a cylinder shutdown, which shuts down 2 of the 4 cylinders at cruising speed to help with economy. Urban drivers will like the 1 litre TFSI 3-cylinder engine, which is sweet around town but isn't exactly nippy on faster roads. A more powerful 2 litre petrol is better suited for this, but overall it's pretty hard to recommend given how good the 1.4 is. On the diesel front, the entry-level 114 brake horsepower 1.6 litre is smooth but not very gutsy, and of the 2 litre diesels, which pump out 148 or 181 brake horsepower, the latter is an absolute belter. Petrol heads will absolutely love the S3. It's available as a 3 or 5-door and is powered by a 2 litre petrol engine with a 4-wheel drive. It's capable of doing 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds, and that will trouble a Porsche Cayman for pace. But if you want to take it one step further, then there's the turbocharged RS3 version, which gets a 5-cylinder unit, and that will do 0 to 60 in just over 4 seconds. If comfort is top of your wish list, then you'll have to pick carefully when it comes to spec levels. It's best to opt for the SE and SE Technic, thanks largely to the 16-inch alloy wheels and suspension, which offers a good blend of ride comfort and body control. Sport versions get larger 17-inch alloy wheels and the option of a 15mm suspension drop, which can be uncomfortable. If you go for the S-Line though, it gets worse because of the 18-inch alloys and a stiffer suspension, although you can deselect this for no extra charge. As you'd expect, the S3 and RS3, by their very nature that they're sports cars, the suspension is lower and stiffer further, but they don't ride badly at all. The A3 is particularly good when it comes to handling. It's not just reserved for the sportier S3 and RS3. While the steering doesn't give lots of feedback, it is well weighted and precise, and there's more than enough grip with very little body roll. Audi's magnetic ride system is an optional extra on most versions, but in reality it's an expensive add-on that really isn't necessary. When it comes to refinement, the A3 is quieter than most of its rivals, with our favourite 1.4 litre TFSI petrol smooth and quiet. In fact, even the diesels are very undiesel-like in their tone. Just note that the larger the alloys, the more road noise will intrude into the cabin. Even the e-tron hybrid is pretty accomplished. So that's a pretty impressive start for the A3, but this is a premium hatch with a premium price tag. So how does the interior stack up to the competition? It's no secret that when it comes to interiors, Audi is tough to beat. All the cabin materials are first rate, and you won't find any cheap plastics on show anywhere. In fact, it looks like the dash has been taken straight out of one of Audi's executive saloons. And don't think that it's all show without any substance. This is a very usable and practical car. As you'd expect, the steering wheel is fully adjustable, as too is the seat. It's just a shame that the adjustable lumbar support is an optional extra. As you'd expect, the sportier the car, the more supportive the seat, with the Sport and S-Line editions getting chunkier side bolsters. Visibility is excellent too, with slim front pillars and large windows, but as too often is the case, the rear window is quite small, which can make reversing a bit tricky. There is a comprehensive list of parking aids, from sensors front and rear, a camera, as well as an assist system that will identify a space and automatically reverse the car into it. But as you would expect, it all comes at a price. The dash layout is clean and functional, and everything is intuitively placed, with the air conditioning neatly located in the middle of the centre console, and all the infotainment functions are controlled via this rotary dial down here by the handbrake. The steering wheel is awash with buttons, and it will take a bit of getting used to. One neat feature though is the virtual cockpit, which is available as part of Audi's Technology Pack Advanced. It's a fully digital 12.3-inch instrument cluster that replaces the conventional dials and displays preferred information, from big speed dials and rev counters to a map to help you navigate, or even help you scroll through your music or phone book. The infotainment system is one of the neatest in the business. It's called Audi's Multimedia Interface, or MMI, and it's controlled via this rotary dial down by the handbrake and displays all the information on a 7-inch monitor which rises out of the dash. It controls everything from your satellite navigation, the Bluetooth on your phone, DAB radio and your music, and it also acts as a monitor if you've got a reversing camera. Now, the system itself is very simple to use, especially on the go, and it's aided by these shortcut buttons down here by the dial. It means that you can quick reference things like your satellite navigation or map, your telephone, radio or music through your phone. So if you want to pair your phone, again, a very simple operation. Simply click through using the shortcut down to telephone, connect mobile phone, find new devices, then click on continue. It'll do a quick search, then pop up on your phone. Use the rotary dial to select the phone you want to pair, then pair it through your phone. Click OK, and we're connected. Very, very simple, and that then pairs all your music as well as your contacts for your phone. Very straightforward. Likewise, if you want to set a destination on your satellite navigation, then simply click on Nav, and then you'll get a prompt to say where would you like to go. Now, one neat trick with this system is that the rotary dial will act as a pad where you can actually write letters rather than having to scroll through. So if we wanted to say London, for example, I could write an L on the pad. It's definitely something you couldn't do on the move, but it's quite a neat little system, and it's a little bit quicker than having to scroll through everything. So then we can click on London, and use the dial to select the point, hit start.
The route is being calculated.
And the route is being calculated. Very straightforward. As with most systems like this, it will take a little bit of playing with and a little bit of getting used to. But once you have familiarised yourself with all the functions and buttons, using it will be an absolute doddle. Whichever A3 you plump for, be it the 3 or 5 door, you're not going to find much more space in here than you would a Volkswagen Golf. Now, this Sportback version does have a slightly longer wheelbase, which means rear passengers do get a little bit more legroom. It is better suited for 2 people in the back rather than 3, largely because of shoulder room, and anyone sat in the middle seat will have to deal with this rather uncomfortable central transmission tunnel. There isn't much in the way of storage in the back, however, as the side pockets are restrictive and will only fit a small drinks bottle. There's nothing too revolutionary about the versatility of the rear seats either. They fold down 60/40 but don't slide back or forth depending on whether you want to prioritise boot or cabin space. On the whole, the boot isn't a bad size or shape. The Sportback's is slightly larger than the 3-door though, and with the rear seats up you can carry up to 380 litres, which is exactly the same as the Volkswagen Golf. Be warned though, if you do go for the 4-wheel drive version or the e-tron, boot space is a little more restricted. The A3's fuel economy and CO2 emissions is comparable with the very best in class. The most, apart from the e-tron hybrid of course, is the 1.6 litre diesel, which emits less than 100 grams per kilometre of CO2 and returns an official average fuel economy of under 75 miles per gallon. The more powerful 148 brake horsepower 2-litre diesel is almost as efficient despite the extra power. But if green motoring is important to you, then the A3 Sportback aforementioned e-tron is the one to go for, emitting just 38 grams per kilometre of CO2 and returning an official combined fuel economy of over 165 miles per gallon, as well as doing 18 miles on battery power alone. Standard equipment levels are generous. Even basic SE trims come with aircon, 16-inch alloy wheels, Bluetooth, xenon headlamps, daytime running lights, Apple CarPlay, cruise control, as well as a neat infotainment system. We'd be inclined to stick to this spec but add rear parking sensors and sat-nav. Audi is a premium brand, and while the initial thought is that you'll be paying a premium price, you might be surprised to learn that it doesn't cost much more than a Volkswagen Golf, and on many PCP deals it actually works out cheaper per month. It will also hold on to its value better than the Volkswagen too. As we said at the start of this review, the Audi A3 remains one of the best family hatchbacks in the business. A few rivals can match it for build quality, refinement, wide selection of engines and practicality. That includes other cars from the Volkswagen Group that are built on the same underpinnings, and that includes the Volkswagen Golf, Skoda Octavia and Seat Leon. With such a wide choice of engines and trim levels, you really will be spoilt for choice. But once you've whittled down your shortlist, one thing's for sure, you won't be disappointed. For plenty more on the Audi A3 Sportback, including our full online review, head to whatcar.com.